Hello and thanks for watching the Cardboard Dungeon. My name is Pat and I am taking a look at the Ewing expansion for X-Wing. This ship featured prominently in Rogue One. It is more of a landing craft type of a ship, but it is capable of space flight, and so we have it in X-Wing. It is a large base ship with a standard firing arc. And the cool thing about this model, which is very small, one of the smallest, if not the smallest, large base ships in the game. I think, especially with the TIE silencer now in the game, on a small base, and that thing is just about as big as the Ewing. This could have easily been on a small base, but for design purposes, this is a large base ship. Now, the coolest thing about the model is these wings actually do move, and you can put them into a landing position and attack position, which has no effect whatsoever on gameplay, but it is very cool. So a nice looking ship, pretty nice paint job on this. I always like it when they do the weathered paint, as we can see in especially the blue areas on this ship. It looks a little bit worn instead of the pristine, just flat colors that we see in other models. Very nice model on the ship, nice detail work, one of the more impressive Rebel ships that we've seen in the game in a while. Looking at the maneuver dial for the Ewing. Now this is a shuttle class ship, or it's in the shuttle realm of things as far as gameplay goes. You can see it's got that speed 0, the full stop maneuver where it just stays put, and it is red, and that's the only red on the dial, which is fairly impressive for a shuttle type of a ship. Now it doesn't have the speed 1 turns, but it's got everything else and it's green. Speed 2 has the speed 2 turns, and everything else on speed 2 is green. Speed 3 has the banks and straights, and it's got the speed 4 straight. No K-turn or any other quick turnaround, but we will see a way that this ship does have via its title to make a quick turnaround. Now the stat line for the Ewing is attack value of 3, agility of 1, 4 hull, and 4 shields. On the action bar, only focus and target lock. And down on the upgrade bar, that's where it gets a little interesting. We have a system icon, a torpedo, and 2 crew. So like I said, playing that shuttle role for the Rebels, it can carry 2 crew members, which is opens the door for a lot of interesting combinations in the game. Now the top pilot for the Ewing is Cassian Andor, pilot skill of 6. 27 points. So right here we can see that the Ewing is coming in right around X-Wing point values. 27 points for a ship with 3 attack and 8 total health, and a system slot, and the ability to carry a 2 crew. Pretty interesting. These are going to be relatively cheap to add into your squad. Cassian Andor can take an elite upgrade in addition to the regular options, and his ability says at the start of the activation phase, you may remove 1 stress token from one other friendly ship at range 1 to 2. So his ability won't work on his own ship because it does specify another friendly ship, but a nice support ability, getting rid of stress, especially in an environment in X-Wing that we currently have where we do see quite a bit of stress. It's always nice. Bodi Rook is the next pilot, pilot skill of 4, 25 points. When a friendly ship acquires a target lock, that ship can lock onto an enemy ship at range 1 to 3 of any friendly ship. So that's pretty cool, especially if you have a squad of 3 or 4 ships, so you have ships around the board. You can pretty much target lock onto any enemy ship as long as you've got any other friendly ship within range 1 to 3. Hef Taber has a pilot skill of 3, 24 points. After an enemy ship executes a maneuver that causes it to overlap your ship, you may perform a free action. So that's pretty cool, especially if you wanted to put something like engine upgrade on this ship so that that free action might be a boost. So if an enemy ship bumps you, you could potentially boost away if you wanted to do that, or you could just take a free focus or target lock. And finally, we have the Blue Squadron Pathfinder, the only non-unique pilot for this ship. Pilot skill of 2 and 23 points. Now jumping into the upgrades that come in this expansion. The first one is the best one, and honestly, the best reason for buying this expansion. Expertise is a new elite upgrade. It costs 4 points. You get 2 copies of it. When attacking, if you are not stressed, you may change all of your focus results to hit results. So that's amazing right there. I mean, I have gotten a lot of use out of this card on a lot of different pilots. It's basically a free, offensive-only focus token as long as you don't have stress. It's fantastic. For pilots like Han Solo, who can already reroll all of his dice, it basically removes the need entirely to have any kind of offensive modifications, target lock or focus, and you can use your actions defensively for a boost via engine upgrade or evade actions, things like that, or focus, which you're only going to use for defense. So many great applications for this card. It is, I think, one of the best elite upgrades in the game currently. It's just fantastic. You just have to watch out for stress. So if you see stress coming, you might be in some trouble unless you have a way to get rid of it easily. All right, Sensor Jammer. When defending, you may change one of the attacker's hit results to a focus result. The attacker cannot re-roll the die with the changed result. This is a system upgrade costing 4 points. I think that this is a little overcosted. Honestly, we've seen Sensor Jammer before. It is interesting, especially if you can use it on enemies that don't have a way to change the focus result back into a hit. And of course, the defender gets to modify dice before the attacker. So it's great if the attacker doesn't have a focus token, and it also stops the attacker from re-rolling that die. But if the attacker is Poe Dameron with a focus token, he'll just change it back and not care. Or if he has a focus token to spend offensively, it's not going to make a difference. Flechette torpedoes have been in the game for a while. It's a torpedo upgrade, of course, 2 points. Requires a target lock, and you must spend the target lock and discard this card. Makes an attack at ranges 2 or 3, 3 attack dice. And after you perform the attack, the defender receives 1 stress token as long as its hull value is 4 or lower, which is a lot of ships in the game. So it's not going to give stress to a lot of the large ships, but most of the small ships in the game are going to take stress from this. And it doesn't matter if it hits or misses. It's going to give the stress regardless of the results of the attack. Next, we've got a brand new crew, Baze Malthus, Rebel Only, costing 3 points. After you perform an attack that does not hit, you may immediately perform a primary weapon attack against a different ship. You cannot perform another attack this round. So essentially, this is a less expensive version of Gunner, with the stipulation that the second attack has to be against a different enemy ship than the attack that missed. So it's nice if you want to save some points and you want a Gunner effect. However, if you only have one enemy ship that you can shoot at, it doesn't work at all. Another unique Rebel-only crew, Bistan, costing 2 points. When attacking at range 1 to 2, you may change one of your hit results to a critical hit result. So not bad. I mean, if you don't have another crew option that you really want to take and you have some points to throw on there, but there's so much better crew in this game, honestly. But some squads and some combos like to have a way to guarantee critical hits, and this guy will do it for you. Next, we've got the crew version of Bodi Rook, 1 point. Rebel only, of course. When you acquire a target lock, you can lock onto an enemy ship at range 1 to 3 of any friendly ship. So basically, whatever ship he's on gets his pilot ability. The same ability that he has if you're flying his U-Wing, except that it only applies to whatever ship he's riding on. It's a nice ability, and he's only 1 point. I could see a case being made to put him on a ship if you are looking to save some points and you have a way to get long-range target locks in your squadron. So pretty cool. Cassian Andor is another Rebel-only unique crew, 2 points. At the end of the planning phase, you may choose an enemy ship at range 1 to 2. Guess aloud that ship's bearing and speed. Then look at its dial. If you are correct, you may rotate your dial to another maneuver. So this is kind of like Intelligence Agent, right? Where you can look at an enemy dial, but this one comes with the added bonus that you get to guess what speed they're going and what maneuver they're performing. And if you're right, you can change your own. All right, next we have another new crew, Inspiring Recruit. You get 2 copies of this. 1 point. Once per round, when a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 removes a stress token, it may remove 1 additional stress token. That's really good, and we have a lot of things in the game that give multiple stress tokens now. So I do think this is cool. It works on whatever ship he's on, in addition to other friendly ships. So if you're building up stress with whatever combo you've got working, or if you're playing against an enemy that's giving you a lot of stress with stress spots or whatever, this is a way to clear off stress quickly. And finally, for all the crew in the Ewing, we have Jin Urso, Rebel Only, unique crew, 2 points. As an action, you can choose 1 friendly ship at range 1 to 2, assign a focus token to that ship for each enemy ship inside your firing arc at ranges 1 to 3. You cannot assign more than 3 tokens this way. So highly situational. You want to have up to 3 enemy ships, as many as possible, in your firing arc at range 3. And then you can give focus tokens for each of them to a friendly ship, including the ship that Jin's on. So it could be cool, might not be. Just depends on what your opponent's flying and how many of his ships he lets you get into position for this ability to work. Plus it costs an action. However, so does focus, just normal focus action. So if you can get 2 focus tokens out of it, you've got good action efficiency if you're going to take a focus action anyway. All right, next we've got 2 copies of Stealth Device. This one's been in the game for quite a while. We've seen it in a couple other ships. Nice to have more copies of it. It is a 3-point modification. Increase your agility value by 1, and if you're hit by an attack, discard this card. And lastly, we have the Ewing Only title. It is a dual card, which means it's got something on the front and the back, and it costs 0 points. So one side of this says Pivot Wing Attack, so the wings are in attack position. Increase your agility value by 1, so you'll now have an agility of 2. After you execute a maneuver, you may flip this card. So you can always flip this card after executing your maneuver. The other side says Pivot Wing Landing. When you reveal a speed 0 maneuver, you may rotate your ship 180 degrees. And then after you execute a maneuver, you may flip the card. So essentially what this is you can set yourself up to do a turnaround, but you lose that extra agility to do so. So basically you either get +1 agility, or you get the ability to flip around a la a K-turn type maneuver when you perform the speed 0. It's an interesting title. I like the extra agility. I mean, basically 3 attack, 2 agility, and the maneuver dial on this ship gives you a large base X-Wing, essentially. I mean, the maneuver dial is pretty similar to that, and it has more health, which is nice. So it flies like an X-Wing, hits like an X-Wing, defends like an X-Wing when it's in attack mode, but it's on a large base. And then if you put it into landing mode, you can do a quick turnaround a la a K-turn, but you don't go anywhere. It's your speed 0, and you just flip it around. So that is pretty neat. It's the only large ship in the game capable of doing the full stop, 0 speed, and turning around at the same time. It's a pretty nifty ability. You can catch opponents by surprise if they fly past you, and boom, all of a sudden you're right behind them with your guns on target. And it's free, so it's an auto-include. No reason that you wouldn't always put it on any U-Wing that you have in your squadron. All right, so that is the U-Wing expansion for X-Wing. Having the benefit of hindsight doing this review late as I am, it is apparent that this ship has not made any kind of a splash in the competitive X-Wing arena. I'm not sure why it is. It might just be that it's on a large base, probably because it's not as maneuverable as a lot of the small ships, and it just doesn't really have a place where it fits in really well into Rebel squadrons. There's just far better ships for the point cost, especially with the Wookiees in the game now. Biggs, even post-nerf, is still super good for 25 points, plus whatever astromech you're going to put on him now. It just seems like there's not space for a U-Wing, even though I think it's an interesting ship. It's had a lot of difficulty finding a place for itself, which is too bad. It's a very cool looking ship and interesting options. But honestly, if nothing else, this expansion is 100% worth buying just for the 2 copies of Expertise. I'm not even kidding. Expertise is a fantastic upgrade. And as I said, the best thing in this expansion by a long shot. All right, guys, as always, thanks for watching the Cardboard Dungeons X-Wing ship reviews. I'll see you next time.